Welcome everybody to this week's episode of RoJoSports. I'm Rob. Alongside of me on my left side is Joe. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How we doing?
Doing pretty good. For the first time ever, Joe, our episode is brought to you by Wilkys. Because why wouldn't you?
That's right. Why not?
Speaking of why wouldn't you, why wouldn't we take this time to talk about the Ohio Valley State champions that have been at the top of and even top three in the on the podium up in Columbus with track, just track by itself right now. Okay, uh, Connor Bendo of Union Local, Division 4 3200 gold medal. Jenna Del Vecchio, Buckeye Local, Division 4, 100-meter hurdle, gold medal. There's somebody from Martins Ferry. Who might that be,
Yeah,
Joe?
Alana Williams. She won the
Alana Williams.
1600,
Indeed.
and she got
Martins
second on the
Ferry.
800 as well.
Yeah,
So,
she did. Um, any word on the 3200?
no, I don't.
Not sure.
Not
Okay.
sure about 3200.
New Philadelphia boys share the Division Two team title and had two champs: Marcus Adelman, 3200, and Wyatt Lendon, 1600. And to cap it off here, we have Indian Valley's Carson Hostetler won the 300-meter hurdle. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Ian Putnam as a junior, went up to Columbus and placed third in the 3200 with a time of 9 minutes and like 4 seconds.
Hey,
Personal best, crushed his own school record, and there's
that
nothing.
that's all you can do. You had your best race as the last one. I mean, there's not much more.
when,
It can only go up.
when you can end on a note like that, it's definitely
Mm.
definitely not a bad
And
thing.
you're on the podium.
Indeed, top three.
Yep.
Can't be mad at that at all.
No.
He's worked extremely hard
Mm.
this year, and getting to be in the school and be a part of it, and get to watch him and get to know him. He's a great kid, and future's definitely bright because the two kids who got first and second in front of him were both seniors. So right now,
So we
as
got the
time
front
goes,
runner.
he should be the front runner,
Yep.
literally, no pun intended. Also, to start off the show this week, I wanted to give you the floor so that you could go ahead and talk to anybody who you would like to about the Brendan Sorsby situation out of Texas Tech. For those who
Oh,
are not aware of what's going on, Brendan Sorsby has done basically the Pete Rose version, probably worse, in college football. So I'll let Joe kind of take over here and bring you guys up to speed.
okay. For those of you that don't know, Brandon Sorsby, he was deemed ineligible by the NCAA because he placed bets. He's bet over like $90,000 over the past couple years. But he placed bets when he played for Indiana a couple years ago that his team was going to win, and that's a big no-no. You can't bet on your own sport, let alone your own team. And it was to win and to lose. So that's not good. That's not good right
Jeez.
there. He also had, I think he believe he has a bet on like the quarterback over under passing yards, which also that's not a good look either.
So he's up
Uh,
there looking at the stat board like, oh man, I'm
yeah.
over. I need to.
Well, he wasn't playing at the time, but
Oh,
still,
okay.
even if you're not playing, if you're just red shirt, it doesn't matter anything like that. Because, for example, there was a player for Iowa who was like a really good defensive player. Um, he bet $10 on the Caton Clark Iowa team to win the national championship, and the NCAA banned him. Like he turned himself in, said, "I I bet $10 on this," and they were like, "Okay." Iowa turned it in, and they banned him for life. Now this kid, he he's been crying about it, and then uh, they finally got a court judge to say that he's eligible. And the reasoning behind it is it's going to create damages for him if he doesn't play for Texas Tech in the coaching, and he's going to miss out on the camaraderie with with the players. I was like, that's the point. He did something wrong.
Yeah,
He shouldn't get to do that. I mean, at this point, you might as well just have a pro player come in and be like, oh well, they didn't win a national championship when they were in college, so they're going to try to win one now because they missed out on it. They're
yeah.
owed these damages. Like,
Well, one player I'm kind of reminded of right now, whenever you talk about fighting for eligibility and all these other things, think about Joey Aguilar for Tennessee. Like he was
yeah,
fighting with the courts to try and be eligible for one more year, kind of like kid for Ole Miss, Chambliss. Is that his name?
Yeah, but like these things are different. If I think because like there are kids from COVID that had like 9 years,
Mm,
and you can't give
yeah,
Trinidad one more year because he played JUCO ball and he played at Division 3 or Division 2, I think. Fair to say, I think it's Division 2.
yeah, yeah. Division
But
two.
anyway, it's like I could understand that, what I mean. But when you're trying to get over a rule that's in place in every sport, everywhere, you can't bet on your sport. You just can't do it. Like the NBA's going through stuff with that now. I mean, there's
Yeah,
the pitcher for the
yeah.
Guardians. Why can't they use this case to help them? Be like, oh well, he's going to miss out. So sorry, your rule doesn't matter.
Well, what's gonna be crazy is the after effect of all this.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's bad enough now, but what's gonna happen here, there's gonna be so many players that are gonna be like, "Oh, well, hell, if I can get away with it, I'll do it
yeah.
too." Why not?
There was a alleged Big 12 coach that said, "Well, I might as well just bring Vegas in and teach my players how to bet
Yeah.
so they can make money
At this point, why not?
if it doesn't matter." I mean,
That's
I kind of wish Texas was
insanity.
playing Texas Tech now because now Texas Tech's the biggest villain, and they're going to be the biggest villain in the history of sports
Oh,
right
man,
now.
so many defensive players are gonna be headhunting that kid.
I mean, I don't blame him because it doesn't affect him in Texas Tech. This affects everybody,
Well,
and
how
calling into
the
question the integrity of the game, like players, like if someone misses a tackle, it's gonna be, oh well, maybe he's got money on it. Can't do
yeah.
that.
What's crazy is, the effect that it's having already in the Big 12. Like,
Oh
uh
yeah.
how many teams right now, the athletic directors have reached out and said, "No, I want him off the schedule. I don't wanna play him."
Well, they haven't come to consensus with the Big 12, but Georgia and Nebraska said if they're going to play him in any sport, not 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 even football, any sport, take them off the schedule. Which I don't blame them because
Yeah.
it's if they're going to do it for this guy, who says they won't do it for others? Like in a sport that
Yeah.
people don't think of that you can bet on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know,
Water
uh,
polo or
yeah,
something.
water polo or something, and like they're throwing games there. Like you don't know.
Yeah. It's just a messed up situation. And, in your, Joe's Crash Outs that you did, for this, right out of your garage, that's how I knew it was a big deal because you
Yeah.
usually don't, take the time to make a video that fast and
Right.
send it to me and be like, "Listen to this. What do you think?" And just so you know, Joe's Crash Outs was brought to you by Derailed Distillery,
Mhm.
Marietta, Ohio, now open on Front Street. Um, but I just thought it was interesting how you brought up like what's stopping Marvin Harrison Jr. from coming back into college football.
I mean,
Like I know you're
it's a
talking
ludicrous
hypothetical.
example, but like
Yeah,
what's off the table then? If I can get a court judge in Columbus to say, "Oh yeah, he can play again. He has another year eligibility because he didn't use
yeah,
them all when he was in college." Like
yeah,
like it's kind of ridiculous.
yeah,
And not only that, college sports has had a problem with this before, and I brought it up in the Joe's Crash Outs. But in like the 40s, college basketball was very popular. Like people don't know this probably, but like it was the most popular, one of the most popular sports in the United States besides baseball, of course. Um, and I believe it was Long Island was the team, and they got in
Okay.
trouble for shaving points.
Mm.
And it took college basketball a very long time. Like that's the reason why the NBA became very popular in like the 50s and 60s and 70s is because of that happening in college basketball in the 40s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
I remember that whole thing.
if that didn't happen, college basketball would have been the king.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like the NBA wouldn't have taken over eventually, but still like that put a bad sour taste in people's mouths because it's like, well, what if this team is doing it too and we just don't know?
I think this kind of funnels down too that not only just with Brendan Sorsby, but think about how many times do we watch games? It's like, do you think the officials have something on this?
Hmm.
Or do you think that this coach does it look rigged to you?
Yeah.
When ultimately anything that Sorsby was a part of was rigged by himself. He kind of you know play the odds. And
I mean, like he didn't like essentially like bet on himself when he was at
yeah.
Cincinnati or anything, but still, just like the amount of betting that he did. Like, there's other kids that bet. Like, there's a quarterback for Iowa State. He got banned, and he only bet like $3,000 total, like lifetime. Like
Hmm.
Brandon Sorsby bet 90,000 lifetime. That's not just like a college kid just like, oh, I'll throw $10 on Atlanta Braves just for the
Yeah.
hell, because like you do that, like I do that, like I'll throw something $10 just for the heck of it. Like I got a
Well, and what's
$10 future on Norway right now to
yeah.
win the World Cup. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but I don't put 90,000. I
Yeah.
don't bet that much. And you have to bet a lot to rack that up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, and it's just crazy to see how far this is gonna and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
He's not the only kid doing this stuff. He's
Oh,
just the first one.
absolutely not.
He's just one that got caught, and
Yeah.
but there's so many people saying, well, maybe they could have just suspended him for I don't know, 2 games or they suspended Harbaugh for 4 because of the Spygate or signal calling,
Yeah, that's
sign
what.
stealing, and or think. I mean, Christ, Terrell Pryor was
Yeah.
selling his gold pants
Well,
for tattoos,
and
and they
all
made
those
Ohio
wins.
State. They made Ohio State vacate wins and lose recruits and all this other
I
stuff.
mean,
But
we can go
this is just
back.
going to be like,
We can go back. Reggie Bush, he like
yeah,
accepted a dinner or something like that. Took his Heisman. He's got it back now, thankfully. But they took away USC's national championship
yeah,
and all those wins that he when he
and
played on the team. And then we can go back even further. We go to SMU. They got paid 50. They paid players like $50,000 in the '80s, and they got the death penalty. And this,
yeah, and they're just
and
now coming back.
yeah, and now they're, and now we got this going on, and this kid's gonna get to do whatever he wants. They're
Yeah,
making a mockery of gambling addiction too,
yeah,
because it's like, or any addiction at all. Because if you like, let's say you're an alcoholic and you're drunk at work and they fire you, it's like, well, I can't because I'm gonna miss camaraderie with my fellow employees and all that stuff, like all the things that the judge said. Like you
yeah.
could put it for anything. It's like it's a slippery slope here. This isn't just some joke, you know. We're not talking about like a year of eligibility for a player that missed a year for a torn ACL or something.
Yeah, this is different. This is think about the movie The Longest Yard and how Paul Crew was in
Yeah.
prison because of the shaving point. Well, no, this was because he was crashing his girlfriend's car and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
But how many people in the prison were like, "Hey, did you really shave those points?" Like it's a big deal, you
Yeah.
know.
It's
And
integrity. Like you gotta
just
have
for
some.
just fortunately, Sorsby wasn't playing and didn't have that ability to bet on himself to have a good or a bad game. Because think
I
about how
mean,
much worse that could be.
I saw a couple things people were talking about. obviously it's a little joking, but it could be serious. Like when Cincinnati played West Virginia, he had like 4 turnovers, and
Mm,
it's like, and they were some of the worst plays you've ever seen. Like, it's a little like, oh well, that's a little questionable. I can you can call anything he does now questionable. It doesn't matter. Like he could be
yeah,
honest on the field playing, and it doesn't matter. Like I'll call into question what he does.
yeah, like
Like he,
somebody could cause a quick strip sack on him or something. You gotta be like,
yeah,
did he,
did he
you
really
know?
fumble or did he just
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And he also like they're really selling the farm for a guy who had 75 passing yards against Nebraska last
yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like this is the guy you're gonna do it for. Like if it was a guy like Joe Burrow or something like that, and he's thrown 500 yards, I could maybe be like, okay, well, I guess I see it a little bit because he wins and he score and he throws for a lot of yards. But this guy's not that.
yeah. This is like the Shohei Ohtani interpreter thing.
Oh well,
That's a whole nother
that's a
conversation,
story
really.
for another day.
But trust me, folks, I don't think this is the first. Sorry, this definitely won't be the last time that we talk
No,
about
no,
the Brendan Sorsby thing. I think we'll be talking about this all the way up to kickoff and probably through
I'll
the season
I'll
because
be rooting against them for the rest of my life.
yeah, because I mean, their Coach Sark for Texas was talking trash on them, talking about, oh,
Uh,
we could run that conference and all this other stuff with their second or third string and this and that, blah 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 blah. And at the time, you and I were like, oh, please, please, I just
yeah,
want to see them play each other just to shut them up. Now I'm just like, I hope they play each other like you said, just so we could watch Texas beat the hell out of them.
yeah, because you know that they will, especially
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like they're playing for something now. They're gonna show you. But I wouldn't play him. I don't blame people for not wanting to play him.
I don't
It's
either.
bull.
But I wonder
Now that's
how
if he plays.
now now how does that work then? Like if they don't end up playing, does that work as a forfeit in the way
Yeah,
of the team that doesn't want to play them, or does it
yeah.
work as a forfeit? So like if Georgia says, say they were on Georgia's schedule, and Georgia would be like, oh, I don't want to play them. Does Georgia take that loss, or would that be a Texas Tech loss?
It'd go on Georgia, but Georgia wouldn't care.
Yeah,
Like do they
because I
really
mean
think that?
in today's college football world, you lose a game, two
Yeah,
games, you're out. So
but no one would hold it against a team for not playing him
yeah,
either. Like if you're in the college football playoff, if I was selecting teams, I would never pick him. If he plays one game, I would never pick him to be in. I don't care
yeah,
if they're 12-0.
yeah.
Like it's pretty ridiculous. Like if Florida State can't get in at 12-0 and their quarterback got hurt and this kid's gambling
Yeah,
and they let him in, they'll they don't want that. That'll be a PR nightmare. They won't even put him in. They won't even
yeah.
they probably won't even be in the top 25.
It's definitely gonna be a sticky situation for a long time, for sure.
I like this is the first time I can ever remember that SEC fans, Big 10 fans, MAC fans,
Are
uh
all together.
Pac-12, Big 12, besides Texas Tech, are
Yeah.
all in agreement on this. We all hate it.
Folks, you could probably see Joe come onto this show in a Michigan University football jersey before he says go Texas Tech at this point.
That's true. I would I would root for Alabama, and I hate Alabama.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
me
root
too.
for Alabama every day of the week if before I'd root for them. I would root for Deshaun Watson at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns before I would root for.
And that's saying something right
Yeah,
there.
and I can't stand him.
Well, moving on from the Sorsby situation,
Yep.
uh, West Virginia University baseball.
Yep.
Moving on to the College World Series.
First appearance ever. It's pretty impressive.
So bring us up
Um,
to speed on WVU baseball, buddy.
well, W baseball they got past the Morgantown regional. Uh, they beat Kentucky. Kentucky played them tough. They were lucky to
Hmm.
make it. this far.
If not for a
Uh,
walk off. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, more power to them because that means that they're a good team. They can play
Yeah.
whatever kind of
Find a
game you
way
need
to
to
win.
play. They find a way.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm not trying to say they got lucky, but they they had an easier game than some of the other teams did. They had to play Cal Poly
And they
at
beat the hell
home
out of them too.
in Morgantown, so Cal Poly had to travel all the way across.
Yeah.
So they were
Into that and
already
that
at a
crowd.
disadvantage. Yeah.
That crowd and like, you and I were talking about, oh yeah, let's look at tickets. And then I saw the prices. I'm like, hey, no way. And
Yeah.
then you were like, oh, it's because Pat McAfee's there,
Yeah.
and
That was 100%
and
why.
and that place was roaring so loud that they caused a partial tornado to
Oh well, no, I mean that went through here, and then
yeah,
yeah,
to throw a canopy. Luckily, nobody got. I know a
there
couple
were
people
people
got.
holding it down. Did you see that? There were people trying to
Yeah,
hold it down. They got
actually,
picked up with it,
yeah,
with
it
the
showed a
wind.
dude. It
Yeah.
showed a guy flying across. It looked like Mary Poppins. Uh, yeah,
but they won
that's
both games by like 13
at
plus
least 10
runs.
runs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cal Poly didn't have a chance. After they lost that first game, I was like, oh, they're done. They
Who they got
can't.
next?
They play Troy, so I'm not saying
Troy.
it's an easy game, but Troy's pretty tough. Troy, it's also Troy's first appearance as well. So
Okay.
we're gonna
And is
have
it best? I can't remember College World Series. Is it like best
best of
out of
three,
five? Best
best of
of
three, I
three?
think. Yeah.
Okay. And then how many teams is left in it?
10 maybe.
10?
No, no, 8, 8.
Okay.
Because
So
it's like basketball. Like this was just the
Elite
Sweet
Eight.
16. This is like the Elite Eight,
Yeah.
and
Elite
then we're
Eight,
gonna go
Final
from here.
Four. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye
They
on
got
that too.
they got a shot. They have a
Yeah.
shot. They could very easily win the whole thing.
And when is the last time you could have said anything like that WVU in any sport has a possibility to win the whole thing in
Two,
anything?
2007 in
Was
football.
that
That's the
Pat
last
White?
time. Yeah. Oh no, they had a couple basketball teams that could have won.
Yeah, yeah. With
Yeah.
that full court press,
Yeah.
and then Hudgens got in
Press
trouble.
Press Virginia. Yep.
Yeah, but
I think Joe
yeah,
Mazzulla was on the team. Shout out.
kudos, kudos to WVU baseball, man.
Yep.
It's exciting. Morgantown's not that far away.
No.
From you, it's about hour and 10 minutes, and
Hmm.
almost the same for me, hour and a half for me. You know, so it's nice to see you know West Virginia athletics become and their
Yeah.
baseball program has always been solid.
Yeah.
But
They've always been pretty good, but it's just like this is the first time that they've actually made it. They always make it to like the super regional, or they make it um like I think they played Kentucky one year and they got smoked by them a couple years ago, but obviously they've gotten a lot better. So they
yeah,
have they can pitch, they can hit. They might they might be a trouble matchup for a few teams.
yeah,
And the Big Ten, they suck at baseball. Jeez.
yeah. And no crap about that.
Yeah.
I was blinded by Ohio State's baseball team and thinking, man, because they beat the crap out of a couple teams. I'm like, oh my
Mm.
god. Then they swept Michigan, and Michigan's usually a pretty good baseball program, and softball, and then like I said, they rocked Michigan there, and I'm like, oh man, Ohio State's gonna be right in there, and then like you said, nope,
No.
pump the brakes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but kudos to WVU baseball. I'm excited to see how far they can take things.
Mm.
Moving forward here, because we do have a interview coming up here shortly. This tonight we have two for you tonight. But NBA Finals Game 3 Monday night. How'd you feel?
Um I don't know, probably went just like how I was thinking it was gonna go. Spurs probably gonna win. Uh Wemby, I was liking him last series, but this series he's playing a little dirty. I like Brunson,
Yeah,
and he like
I
shoved
didn't like that
Brunson.
play he had
I
on
didn't like
Brunson
that.
by the back of
No.
the neck. I wasn't a fan of that either.
You know, if it was Karl Anthony Towns or something like that, I'd been like, okay, you know, because he's been giving him the business the past couple games. But like Brunson, you really gonna do that to him? You're like a foot and a half taller than him.
Like, you don't have to do that, you know?
No,
He's not gonna box you out, and if he does,
no,
just
that's your
step
fault.
over him. You know? Um, but yeah, I think, Knicks look real good in those first 2 games,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of it's stemmed from how good Karl Anthony Towns has been playing. I have to apologize, you know, and I don't know if you talked about it too, but I'm like, man, Karl Anthony Towns, I just don't see, him
Well,
being any
he's
kind of threat. But the thing is the way he's a threat is he forces Wemby to get 20 feet out of the paint
mhm.
because he can shoot,
Yep.
you know, and Chet Holmgren, he couldn't shoot
Well,
like
he didn't
that.
even try.
He didn't try,
He
right?
didn't try
And
to.
the other center for OKC, can't think of his name.
Yeah.
And he was an inside player too, so Wemby
Mhm.
didn't have to leave the paint. But
Mhm.
this time around, he does. What I think is the biggest travesty in my eyes as a fan, is the price of these tickets to go to these games. I think the cheapest seat is for the Knicks, and I know this is the first NBA Finals in Madison Square Garden in what 50 years. I think is
No, it's 99. I think's the last time. When
99. No
they
Patrick
also played the
Ewing.
Spurs then too.
Yeah, yeah, ironically enough. But it's just, so many people have been rooting for this for so long. So I can understand, like you and I talk all the time about
Mhm.
how, Cleveland is so fantastic when like, I'm sorry, Cleveland fans are so dedicated to the Browns that, if the Browns were in the Super Bowl, it's kind of like the Knicks being in the finals.
Yep.
People in New York don't care about the Giants. They don't care. They do,
Well,
but
they
nobody
do.
cares about the Jets.
No.
Some people care about the Rangers, I guess, and the Islanders, and teams like that, but
Like
don't
it's
don't
always been like the Yankees, Knicks, Yankees, uh, Giants are like the teams,
yeah, but
and
it's
then the
the thing is though is like for so many years, people expect the Yankees to be good.
right,
You know, the Knicks winning a finals or the Super Bowl is the equivalent of the Browns winning the Super Bowl. That city is going to be nuts if they
right.
close this thing out.
I mean, it's like how in here and like around the Cleveland area, like
Yeah,
football is like the king. Canton is literally where it's like 50 minutes from Cleveland. Like that's literally where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is.
yeah,
Like the all the very first pro football teams are all in Ohio. Like this is the like birthplace of like the NFL sort of. You know what I mean? Like these were
yeah.
all the NFL teams were from here. Um and it like how New York is like basketball mecca. Like like
Mhm.
you play at Rucker Park, that's like the big thing. Like everyone would watch. Like I remember when Kevin Durant went to when they had that lockout and he went and played in a pickup game in Rucker Park, whole place was filled. Like,
Yeah,
it's like it's the stage of basketball. Like
yeah.
there's places where basketball matters, like, like obviously in Boston and Massachusetts, but like New York's the king. Like if you do something in New York, you're a big deal.
Well, I think regardless of how the Knicks pan out and finish this series, whether they win it, whether they lose it, they're definitely set up for, and so are the Spurs, set up to both be, you know, the Bulls Jazz. They're going to be both be in the mix, for plenty of years,
Mhm.
especially if when this year's over, if one or two players decides to pull a Kevin Durant, and if LeBron goes to New York or if Giannis goes to New York, it's one of them's going. I think.
I don't know at this point. I saw that Giannis his ideal destination is Miami, which I don't. I mean, I get it, but you know,
The decision 2.0.
yeah, that's what it feels like.
without a big three. There'd be a big two there, a massive two.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, but I don't play. He wants to play like I would want to play for Pat Riley, so, and that's his team.
Yeah. And I mean, if you could spend a lot of your time in Miami, who can be mad at that?
Yeah. Plus, it's the, it's where everyone wants to be. So
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go up to New York in January where it's negative 10 degrees, or do you, or February, or do you want to go to Miami where it's 90 and 85 all year round?
yeah,
Yeah. you
I
know,
wouldn't, but that's
yeah.
me.
I personally, and not me either, but
Yeah,
that's just me, I guess.
I don't like
But
hot weather, obviously.
not that not too into it myself. Not too into that myself. Um, So, when you mentioned about Kevin Durant playing a pickup game, one in Rucker Park. Um, you mentioned before we started streaming tonight about Paul Skeens,
Mm.
showing up at a little league baseball field. Before we cut this off, I just wanted to, talk about that and how awesome that is. That a guy his caliber and a guy who is going to be the highest paid pitcher maybe in history here in the next couple of years,
Well, maybe
depending on
if the cap hits or not, we'll see.
yeah, and that's another conversation too, buddy.
But
But
it's awesome they did that, and he was there for 2 hours. He was playing catch with them. I mean, that's
yeah,
like the dream scenario if you're a little league player.
that'd be
To
like you and I being little playing, baseball in the middle of the street, and the next thing Derek Jeter would show up,
yeah,
or
just be
and
like,
talk
oh
to you,
hey,
here and
what's
play
going on,
baseball with
guys?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
or it'd be like Michael Jordan showing up when we were kids and we were playing horse or something, and
Yep.
play a game of horse and he leaves or whatever. It's the same thing. But kudos to Paul Skeens for that.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, buddy? Am I missing anything?
I don't believe so. Those are all the big pointers we had tonight.
Yeah, we hit it all just at about 30 minutes, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We were cooking with gas tonight, but
Well, it's also
um,
there's not much. We're kind of running out of things.
yeah, we're in the summertime, man, and
Yeah.
here in a week and a half, NBA. Well, here in maybe a couple days, NBA will be over.
Oh, the NHL as well. I mean, the Knights are up two
NHL,
one.
yeah, that's the finals too, right?
Yep. Stanley Cup.
Yeah. In my opinion, hardest championship to win in pro sports is the Stanley Cup.
Oh, I mean, I think they're all hard, but
Yeah,
but it's hard to it just the physical, of the game. Just
yeah,
you're getting beat every night.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, folks, stay tuned. We'll be live again here in about 20 minutes, where we will have Hutch Cruciata on our show of the Columbus Capital Comets Division III baseball team. He will be on here live with us. And then after that, we will also be live again around 20 till 10 this evening, and we will have Delonte Hood, former player of the Denver Broncos, Cincinnati Bengals, Arizona Cardinals, the Admirals, and UFL, and who's the team for Canadian football? You mentioned
Toronto Argonauts, I believe.
Toronto Argonauts. Yeah, so he'll be on here. Got some really awesome guests coming up in the following week as well. We have um, uh, a JUCO basketball player. He'll be on here. Rich Saff, and then we'll also have Reggie Reggie Jones next week. Temple University starting linebacker on the show. So then we have a quarterback from Oklahoma State coming on here. We had
Hmm.
all kind of guests coming up on here over the next coming month. We're getting into football season, man, and it's
That's
awesome to
right.
get these, you know, high level players on here while still talking baseball with
Yeah.
Hutch here
Yep.
shortly. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode and rendition of RoJoSports, and we'll see you here soon.